The vicious stepmother raised the male protagonist's son into a mother boy. I dressed up as the vicious stepmother who abused the male protagonist's son in the book. The little poor child in front of him is the big boy who grew up ruthless and sent his stepmother to a mental hospital. I want to raise the future villain into a mom boy, see how he still blackens. The text begins below. In front of me stood a thin boy, about 6 years old, with big eyes like black grapes looking at me in disbelief. 100 yuan a month is not enough. The child pursed his mouth and pinched his fingers for 100 yuan slightly white. I got into a bloody article and became a vicious stepmother who abused the male protagonist's son in the book. The little poor in front of him is Owen Liu, who grew up ruthless and sent his stepmother to a mental hospital. Thinking of the fate of the original owner in the book, I shuddered. Fortunately, I wore it quite early, and the original owner just started by deducting pocket money. 100 a month, is this what people do? Not to mention that the Liu family is a wealthy family, even ordinary families do not do this. I squeezed out a kind smile. I'm sorry, Owen, I read a book about a poor son yesterday and lost my mind. I stuffed him a bank card directly. You are still young, you have 100,000 yuan in your card, you can't spend it indiscriminately. By the way, the injury on your arm. I reached out to check, and Owen Liu immediately took 2 steps back. I fell myself, he said quickly. I sighed. The original owner has always been cold and violent to children, no wonder he is so defensive. It seems that it takes a bit of effort to reverse the impression. Okay, but be careful in the future. I kept smiling. What do you want to eat at night? I'll do it for you. Owen Liu's expression was puzzled, and it took a long time to squeeze out 2 words, whatever. How about sweet and sour pork ribs, steamed sea bass and stir-fried shrimp with broccoli? I remember you loved to eat these. I recalled the description of the male protagonist's son's preferences in the book. Sure enough, the little one's eyes lit up, but he quickly returned to his guard. He nodded, turned around and left home quickly. I breathed a sigh of relief and sat down on the sofa. In the book, Ethan Liu married the original owner just because she was somewhat similar to the dead by Yue Guang. He was also indifferent to his son, which gave his vicious stepmother the opportunity to act as a demon. I don't want to follow the old path of the original owner. Just as I was thinking, the door opened. A tall man in a neat suit stood at the door, with no expression on his chiseled face. Ethan Liu. The man frowned slightly. What do you call me? The original owner always called him Brother Ethan. I can't say it, I'm afraid I'll disgust myself to death. I changed my words. Old husband, why are you back? Ethan Liu's eyes became even colder. Don't call me that, I'm just coming back to get the documents. He went straight to the study and didn't even give me a look. As expected of a ruthless male protagonist. I curled my lips and suddenly remembered something. By the way, Owens. Don't bother me with such trivial things. Ethan Liu interrupted me without looking back. As long as it doesn't affect the reputation of the Liu family, I don't care how you get along, but remember, don't cause trouble for me. After saying that, he turned around and left with the documents, as if this home was some kind of dragon pool and tiger's den. I looked at the closed door and was speechless. Good guy, this dad is really worry-free. No wonder Owen Liu grew up so perverted, this family environment is too suffocating. I clenched my fists. I want to raise the future villain into a mom boy, see how he still blackens. In the afternoon, I hummed a song while preparing dinner. When the aroma of sweet and sour pork ribs fills the air. There was a small figure at the kitchen door. Hungry? Wait another 10 minutes to eat. There was no answer behind me, but I heard a small sound of swallowing. Come on, taste a piece first. I picked up a piece and handed it to him. Owen Liu hesitated for a moment, but after all, he didn't resist the temptation, took it carefully, and took a small bite. Then, those big eyes lit up instantly, like stars falling into a deep pool. Is it delicious? I asked with a smile. Owen Liu nodded, and quickly returned to his expressionless appearance. I couldn't help but laugh and reached out to help him wipe the sauce off the corner of his mouth, but he reflexively shrank back. I softened my voice. Don't be afraid, I won't hit you, I promise. Owen Liu looked at me in a daze, as if judging the truth of this sentence. Eventually, he slowly relaxed his body. My classmates said that stepmothers will beat their children. He asked in a low voice. I said seriously, it's not right to hit someone. This answer was obviously unexpected by Owen Liu. He tilted his head to look at me with a curious expression. Go wash your hands and start eating right away. I patted him on the shoulder, and this time he didn't dodge. When eating, Owen Liu ate carefully, but added rice twice. Tomorrow Saturday, do you want to go to the playground? I asked casually. His spoon fell into the bowl. What's wrong? I asked in confusion. Dad said. The playground is a boring place to waste time. He whispered. I rolled my eyes. Your dad's brain is in water, so can you go? Owen Liu's eyes lit up, and he nodded imperceptibly. I slapped the table. That's it. Sleep until you wake up naturally tomorrow, and then go. The little guy tried to suppress it, but still showed an expectant expression. On Saturday morning, I opened the door with a chicken coop head and almost stepped on Owen Liu squatting at the door. Wow. What are you doing here? I jumped back in fright. Owen Liu was already dressed, holding a small school bag in his arms, and his eyes were shining. It's 7 o'clock. He said. The amusement park only opens at 9 o'clock, children. Good morning? I'm not sure how long he's been squatting here. This kid can't wait, right? Owen Liu pursed his mouth and didn't speak, but his eyes were obviously eager. Give me half an hour. After washing, I grabbed a t-shirt and jeans and put them on. When he came out, Owen Liu was still standing in place, not even changing his posture. Let's go, let's have breakfast first. I rubbed his hair. Owen Liu subconsciously shrank his neck, but did not dodge. In the breakfast shop at the entrance of the community, Owen Liu stared at the soy milk fritters in front of him, hesitating to move his chopsticks. What's wrong? Don't like it? I asked. He shook his head and whispered, Dad never lets me eat out. It's unhygienic. I rolled my eyes. The male protagonist has so many bullshit rules. It's okay to eat once in a while. I took a big bite of fried dough. Crispy and delicious. Try it quickly. Owen Liu also took a bite, and his eyes suddenly narrowed. Why is this child so easy to feed? I couldn't help but laugh. We arrived early, and there were not many people in the playground. Owen Liu followed me closely, his little face tense. The eyes kept looking around, curious about everything. Have you never been here before? I asked. Owen Liu shook his head. Dad said it was a waste of time. Sure enough, it fits Ethan Liu's workaholic personality. I bought a ticket and asked for a map. Let's play all the projects today. I proudly announced. Owen Liu's eyes lit up all of a sudden, but quickly dimmed again. Will you? Too tired? He asked cautiously. My heart was sour. In the book, Chloe Jiang often uses tiredness as an excuse to cancel his promises. I squatted down and looked at him at eye level. Listen, if I shout I'm tired today, you'll throw me in there. I pointed to the big pendulum in the distance. Owen Liu followed my finger, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Really? One word is a deal. I stretched out my little thumb. He hesitated for a moment, hooked my finger and shook it gently. The first project is a carousel. Owen Liu chose a white horse with a straight face, his back straight, as if he was participating in some serious ceremony. I sat in the pumpkin wagon next to me and took several photos. Next. He jumped off the wooden horse, his cheeks slightly red, and he was visibly excited. Corsairs, jumpers, bumper cars. Owen Liu gradually let go and took the initiative to grab my hand in the haunted house. He will already point to the map and plan the route. It's very high. Owen Liu looked up at the roller coaster whizzing by, his voice trembling a little. Are you afraid? I raised my eyebrows. No. He immediately puffed out his chest. I held back my laughter. Why don't you forget it? I want to sit in the first row. He interrupted me with a stubborn look in his eyes. As a result, when the roller coaster climbed to the highest point, the little guy who claimed to be not afraid grabbed my hand and shouted with his eyes closed, Mom, help. I was stunned. This was the first time he called my mother, although it was scary. I held his hand back. Hold on, let's rush down. Our screams mixed together. When the car stopped, Owen Lu's hair stood on end. His face was red and he smiled happily. Do it again? I asked. He nodded vigorously. Eating at the restaurant in the park at noon, Owen Lu excitedly shared with me his favorite roller coaster ride. Watching him dance, I couldn't associate him with the gloomy child yesterday. The ice cream is going to melt. I pointed to the cone in his hand. He quickly licked it, and the cream was on the tip of his nose. I reached out to wipe it off, but this time he didn't dodge at all. There's a game stall over there. Do you want to try it? I pointed to a row of colorful tents not far away. Owen Lu's eyes lit up, but he immediately hesitated again. I heard that those are all lies. It's hard to win. That's why I have to challenge. I pulled him over. We tried a few shooters and had dismal results. Just as I was about to throw in the towel, Owen Lu stopped in front of a computing game. A quick estimate of the amount of sweets in the jar is required. Want to try? I asked. He nodded. After handing over the game currency, the stall owner pointed to the colorful candies arranged on the table and gave only 5 seconds to observe the time. Please write down your answer. Owen Lu wrote a number with little hesitation. After checking, the stall owner's eyes widened. 367. Exactly. You are the first child we have guessed in so long. I watched in amazement as Owen Lu took away the largest teddy bear, which was almost taller than him. How did you do that? I asked in a low voice. Owen Lu shrugged. Count one side, and then multiply it. It's very simple. In the book, Owen Lu grew up to be a financial genius, and it seems that this talent is innate. Do you want to try making money with game currency? I said excitedly. Is it okay? He tilted his head to look at me. Of course. I'll give you 100 yuan in principal to see how much you can earn. The next thing is an eye-opener. Owen Lu wandered between various game stalls, specializing in probability games. He exchanged his initial funds for game currency, and after playing a few rounds of pushing coins, the principal has doubled. Then he switched to digital quizzing and made a lot of money. This is for you. 2 hours later, he tugged at the corner of my clothes and handed me a stack of game tickets. I counted, 1,000 yuan. Did you cheat? I asked jokingly. He immediately blushed. No. Those games have rules to follow. I'm kidding. I quickly reassured him. Owen, you're amazing. Keep this game ticket for yourself. Let's play it next time. The corners of Owen Lu's mouth curled up slightly, and his eyes lit up. Okay, next time. Come together again. Oh my God, such a cute child. How could he become a cold-blooded villain in the book? I hugged him and touched his head. Let's go, reward you with an oversized marshmallow. His body stiffened for a moment, but he didn't break free. Owen Lu took a marshmallow the size of his head and licked it in small bites, the corners of his mouth stained with sugar shreds. I secretly took a picture of this lovely scene. In the evening, we carried large and small bags of prizes to the exit. Owen Lu took a few steps and looked up at me, wanting to say something but stopping. What's wrong? I asked. Today. Thank you. He was very quiet. Today is my happiest day. My heart felt like it was being gently pinched by a small hand. I rubbed his hair. There will be many more days like this in the future, I promise. Owen Lu nodded and took the initiative to hold my hand. When I got home, as soon as I entered the door, I saw that there were guests at home. Yo, isn't this Chloe Jiang? A woman in a pale blue dress, sitting on a sofa. Ethan Lu walked out straight in his suit, obviously going to a formal occasion. Brother Ethan said that Owen is hanging out with you today. I still can't believe it. The woman had a smile on her face, but her eyes were cold. After all, I heard that you used to. Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned those unpleasant things. This is Ethan Lu's childhood friend Roxy Lin. She has been abroad for many years and has only recently returned. Ethan Lu stood aside expressionlessly, completely unwilling to introduce. I smiled slightly. Yes, I had a great time with Owen, right, son? Owen Lu looked at me, then at Roxy Lin, and stood in front of me. Although this protective posture seems a bit ridiculous in the height difference between the two of us. Owen has grown so big. Roxy Lynn bent down to touch his head, but he dodged him. She straightened up in embarrassment. Brother Ethan, aren't we going to attend Mr. Chen's dinner? Ethan Lu nodded and looked at Owen. Lu, remember to finish your homework. That's it? Don't ask how your son is playing today. I curled my lips. Owen did a great job at the amusement park today and won a lot of prizes. Ethan Lu glanced at the teddy bear in Owen Lu's arms and frowned slightly. Don't play with things to lose your mind. After saying that, he was ready to leave. Dad. Owen Lu suddenly spoke. Mom took me on a roller coaster today. Very fast kind, you. Do you want to try it too? Ethan Lu was stunned, as if he was not used to his son taking the initiative to share. Roxy Lynn chuckled. Brother Ethan hates these childish games the most, right? Owen Lu's shoulders collapsed. I smiled and said, some people pretend to be mature on the surface, but they actually have a playful child living in their hearts, right, Owen? Owen Lu smiled secretly and nodded. Ethan Lu looked at me, then at his son, and finally said, be safe. Turned around and left. Roxy Lynn gave me a meaningful look. Chloe Jiang, your profile is really similar to Ethan's first love, but the front face is. Hee hee. I pretended not to hear her sarcasm. Owen also said that I look like his favorite mother. Roxy Lynn's face changed, and he hurriedly chased after Ethan Lu and left. Who is she? Owen Lu asked. I shrugged. I want to be your stepmother. Owen Lu showed a surprised expression. I don't want a second stepmother. I smiled and said, I'll make you fried chicken for dinner, okay? Owen Lu suddenly said seriously, you don't look like anyone else. I was stunned. You look much better than that, aunt. He lowered his head and played with his fingers, his ears turning red. My heart softened. This child is not only smart, but also so considerate. I said seriously, Owen, from today onwards, we are the best partners, okay? He looked up at me, his eyes shining, and nodded solemnly. I flipped through my phone calendar. Suddenly remembered that next Wednesday was Owen Lu's birthday. The book mentioned that since the death of his biological mother, Owen Lu has never had a birthday again. The original owner even canceled the birthday event on the grounds that there was no need to celebrate because he was not his biological child. Thinking of the little guy who was happy because of a marshmallow in the amusement park, I felt a sour feeling in my heart. It must be big. I slammed the table, and Owen Lu, who was doing his homework, almost jumped up. What's wrong? He raised his head from his homework book, his little face full of doubts. Nothing. I changed the subject. Do you want to eat pudding? His eyes lit up, but he immediately became vigilant again. Do you want me to try a new recipe again? Last week I tried to make a matcha cake and ended up eating him as a little green man. This time I bought it, not made it. I swore to take out the pudding I bought at the supermarket. Only then did Owen Lu take the spoon with confidence. Watching him enjoy the dessert in small bites, I have begun to think about the details of the birthday party in my mind. The next day, after sending Owen Lu to school, I walked into Ethan Lu's study. This nominal husband is rarely at home today. What's wrong? He looked up from the pile of papers, his eyes cold and alienated behind his golden glasses. Next Wednesday is Owen's birthday, and I want to throw him a party. I get straight to the point. Ethan Lu frowned. He's never just a birthday. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. I suspect that he is not your biological child, and children like birthday parties. It's up to you. Ethan Lu lowered his head again. Don't disturb my work. Will you come? I asked. Ethan Lu paused. It depends. I curled my lips and turned to leave. I recalled the plot and found that Owen Lu liked astronomy. So the theme of the birthday party was decided. Starry Sky Party. In the next few days, I secretly prepared while Owen Lu was at school. I ordered starry sky projection lights, planet-shaped balloons, NASA co-branded stationery sets, and specially found a dessert shop that could make three-dimensional planet cakes. The night before my birthday, after Owen Lu fell asleep, I tiptoed and began to decorate the living room. As I stepped on the ladder and hung up the happy birthday starlights, a voice suddenly came from behind me. Need help? I was so scared that I almost fell off the ladder. A strong arm supported my waist in time. Turned around to face Ethan Lu's handsome face when he came back from overtime. I patted my chest in shock. Don't you walk without making a sound? He let go of his hand. What are you doing? Can't you see it? Decorate birthday parties. I continued to hang the streamers. If you're idle, help blow up the balloons. Ethan Lu actually rolled up his sleeves, picked up the balloon and started blowing. Looking at the picture of the business elite in a straight suit, blowing balloons with their cheeks puffed out, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. What are you laughing at? He frowned. No. Poof. Nothing. I quickly changed the subject. Do you know what good friends Owen has? I invited a classmate but wasn't sure who he liked to play with. Ethan Lu's expression froze for a moment. I don't know. An incompetent father is even more terrifying than a vicious stepmother. I sighed. By the way, are you coming tomorrow? Lu Jinyan said lightly, there is a meeting. My tone became cold. Then at least you prepare a gift, right? Ethan Lu nodded thoughtfully and suddenly asked, why are you so good to him all of a sudden? My heart skipped a beat. I can't say. I know that your son will be a villain in the future, and it is more cost-effective to hug his thighs now, right? He's a good kid and deserves to be treated well. Ethan Lu looked at me deeply and didn't speak again. Early the next morning, I retreated to the door of Owen Lu's room. Happy birthday! I sang the birthday song out loud. Owen Lu came out of the bed, his hair disheveled, and he looked dazed. Today is my birthday? Yes, today is your 7th birthday. Owen Lu looked at me blankly, and his eyes suddenly turned red. I was busy taking pictures. Laugh a little. Owen Lu whispered, thank you. Don't rush to thank you, this is just the beginning. I smiled mysteriously. Get dressed and go downstairs, there are surprises. Owen Lu stood in the center of the newly decorated living room, his mouth open in an O shape. Starry sky projection lights project the Milky Way onto the ceiling, planet balloons float everywhere, and 3-tiered planet cakes are served on the dining table. Do you like it? I asked expectantly. He nodded, his eyes shining like stars. At this time, the doorbell rang, and his classmates arrived one after another, each with a gift in their hands. Owen Lu stood awkwardly beside me, obviously not used to being the center of attention. Go play with your friends. I gave him a gentle push. Watching him play planet-themed board games with his classmates, I smiled with relief. In the middle of the party, the children were helping to unpack the gifts. I brought out the asteroid biscuits I made with my own hands. Suddenly, the living room fell silent and all the children looked behind me. Ethan Lu actually came back, holding a box in his hand. Dad? Owen Lu's voice trembled a little. Ethan Lu handed him the box. Happy birthday. Owen Lu carefully unpacked. It is a professional-grade astronomical telescope. Thank you, Dad. He jumped up excitedly. Ethan Lu nodded and stepped back to the corner. He was like a spectator, quietly watching his son play with his friends. After the party, all the guests were sent away, and Owen Lu still held the telescope and refused to let go. It's time to prepare dinner. I clapped my hands. The birthday star is the biggest today. What do you want to eat? Can I eat hot pot? He asked expectantly. Of course. I looked at Ethan Lu. What about you? Do you want to eat together? He nodded. I stood up, but someone needs to help me prepare the ingredients. Owen, come and help in the kitchen. Owen Lu obediently followed. Ethan Lu hesitated for a moment and also took off his suit jacket and followed. First, wash the vegetables. I handed Owen Lu a basket of greens. You're in charge of this. What about me? Ethan Lu asked. I raised my eyebrows. Can you cook? No. Then, plate it. The house is rich in ingredients, and every day the housekeeper adds new ingredients to the refrigerator. I looked at the Wagyu beef that had just been flown in this morning and swallowed. It's great to have money. If it weren't for the desire to cultivate a relationship with Owen Lu, I wouldn't have cooked for myself. The chef at home is 3 Michelin stars. Decided, and I will start enjoying it in a few days. After dinner, I helped Owen Lu sort out the gifts. He suddenly asked, why are you so nice to me? I stopped what I was doing, because you are a very special child and deserve to be loved. Owen Liu lowered his head and played with his fingers, but I am not your biological child. So what? I rubbed his hair. Feelings are not in blood, but here. I tapped his chest. Owen Liu was silent for a while, then suddenly pounced on me and hugged me, with his little face buried in my shoulder. Thank you, Mom. I hugged him back tightly. You're welcome, my baby. There was a slight noise at the door, and I looked up to see Ethan Liu's back as he quickly turned away. On this day, I was swimming in a mansion. The head teacher suddenly called and said that Owen Liu had a fight with someone at school and needed parents to go over. I came to the school and saw Owen Liu standing there with his head down, his eyes red. Did you fight? Owen Liu lowered his head and did not speak. I saw that his knuckles were a little red and swollen, and there was a scratch on his face. It seems that the fight is quite ruthless. A chubby little boy was crying, and his mother stood aside menacingly. What's going on? I asked the head teacher. Owen Liu hit Li Mingrui. The head teacher said helplessly. Although Li Mingrui is usually a little naughty, it's always wrong to fight. A little naughty? I sneered. Did he say that Owen doesn't have a mother or anything like that? This is the plot written in the book. Owen Liu is often bullied. The head teacher looked surprised. How do you know? I squatted down and asked Owen Liu, is that so? He nodded and whispered, he said you. It's not my own mother, saying that I'm just a wild child that no one wants. I asked him not to say it, and he kept saying it. I hit him. I stood up and said to the parent, this is not the first time your son has verbally bullied my son, and I think Owen did the right thing about this today. What? The mother screamed. Is it reasonable for your son to beat someone? It's just self-defense and counterattack. I said coldly, turning to the head teacher. If any classmates maliciously slander Owen in the future, I will directly complain to the Education Bureau about the school's inaction. Is that clear? The head teacher was shocked by my momentum and nodded repeatedly. Let's go, son. I took Owen Liu's hand. Wait. The mother was reluctant. Forget it? Your son broke my son. I turned around and looked at him coldly. You have an opinion, go to Ethan Liu and say, I believe you know his identity. The mother immediately stopped squeaking as if she was being choked. Although Ethan Liu is incompetent, his name is really useful. Along the way, Owen Liu held my hand tightly. When he walked out of the school gate, he suddenly said, you were so handsome just now. I smiled and pinched his face. Remember, if someone bullies you in the future, warn you first. If you can't do it, beat him, and your mother will support you if something happens. Ahem, in the name of Ethan Liu. Owen Liu nodded vigorously, his eyes full of admiration. Back home, Ethan Liu rarely waited for us in the living room. The school called me. What's going on? I was about to explain when Owen Liu spoke first. I fought, but I don't regret it. Ethan Liu raised his eyebrows. Why? Li Mingrui scolded me for not having a mother. Owen Liu said with red eyes. But I have. Chloe Jiang is my mother. Ethan Liu's expression became complicated, his eyes sweeping between me and my son. Finally, he said, don't fight again next time, it won't affect you well. Owen Liu lowered his head in disappointment. Got it. Got it. I took Owen Liu's hand and said, don't listen to him, but don't slap him in the face next time. It's easy to leave evidence. Owen Liu was stunned for a moment, pursed his lips and laughed. The next morning, I noticed an extra card on my bedside table. Above it is Owen Liu's neat handwriting, to the best mom in the world. Below is a stick figure of the two of us. Without his father, Ethan Liu. I held the card and laughed with my waist crossed. The Ma Bao male development plan seems to have succeeded. A white Porsche is parked in front of the villa. Roxy Lin stepped on high heels and walked out gracefully. Mom, what are you looking at? Owen Liu's voice sounded behind him. Ah. I jumped up in fright. You kid, why don't you walk silently? A few years have passed, and Owen Liu has grown taller than me. The little boy was tall, with a rare calmness in his eyebrows and eyes. She's here again. Seeing Roxy Lin, Owen Liu curled his lips. Oh, this is the photo she sent today. I opened the photo album on my phone and showed him the intimate photos of Roxy Lin and Ethan Liu, all of which were taken on loan. It's funny, she thinks I care? She's really endless. Owen Liu said coldly. Appears 3 times a week and stays for 2 hours each time. I couldn't help but laugh. Why are you still counted? Leave her alone, wash your hands and eat. Ethan Liu and Roxy Lin walked in together. Roxy Lin saw me, and a hint of contempt flashed in her eyes. Brother Ethan loves to eat the French food I cook. Next time I will teach you a few simple dishes. No, we have a chef at home, I said with a smile. And our family Owen loves to eat Chinese food. Go with your brother Ethan and eat foie gras with fatty liver. Owen Liu nodded. My mother's cooking is the best. Who wants to eat white rice? Roxy Lin's face froze. In the past few years, every time Owen Liu has been able to accurately poke Roxy Lin's sore spot. She turned to Ethan Liu. Brother Ethan, tomorrow's negotiations with washing, will I accompany you? No need, Owen will come with me. Ethan Liu took off his blazer and hung it on the hanger in the foyer. Owen Liu raised his eyebrows. Me? Well, the analysis report you did last time was good. I raised my eyes in surprise. Ethan Liu would actually praise his son? The sun came out in the west? Roxy Lin was upset. Owen is still a junior high school student. That kind of occasion is not suitable, right? He's already helped me with 3 projects. TSK, this man is really real. I found that my son was useful and began to pay attention to it. Roxy Lin was angry and walked away. The 3 of us sat down to eat. After a while, Ethan Liu suddenly spoke. Chloe Jiang, there is a charity dinner next week. You and I will attend. I paused. Why? Ethan Liu frowned. You're Mrs. Liu, aren't you? Owen Liu and I exchanged glances. In recent years, Ethan Liu's attitude towards me has eased, but it is the first time that he suddenly wants to take me to a public event. I raised my eyebrows. It's okay to go with you, but you have to pay more. Ethan Liu has gotten used to my behavior patterns. He nodded and got upstairs. Owen Liu immediately came over. What is he thinking? I shrugged. Who knows, maybe I'm annoyed by Roxy Lin. Owen Liu narrowed his eyes. Mom, I will protect you. My heart warmed. This once thin little boy is now a head taller than me and is a little man. On the day of the charity dinner, I wore a long purple dress. Owen Liu saw it and exclaimed, Wow, Mom is so beautiful. Ethan Liu came down from upstairs and looked amazed when he saw me. Then he returned to expressionlessness. Let's go. At the dinner, Ethan Liu uncharacteristically stayed by my side the whole time and took the initiative to introduce that this was my wife. Roxy Lin stood far away, her eyes looking like she was going to burn a hole in me. What the hell are you playing? While no one was around, I asked Ethan Liu in a low voice. He looked at me. I just suddenly realized. You are more important than I think. I sneered. Mr. Liu should leave this to Miss Lin. When I got home, Ethan Liu stopped me. Let's talk. He took me to the study and handed me a document. I opened it and saw that it was an equity transfer agreement. He transferred 5% of Liu's shares to me. What does this mean? I asked vigilantly. I want to start over. He looked at me and said, Over the years, I've seen how you treat Owen. You're a good mother. I put down the document. Ethan Liu, what exactly are you trying to say? I think we might be able to develop a true relationship between husband and wife. He said this a little nervously. I sneered. The original owner dreamed of hearing what he wanted to hear, but now it sounds so ironic. I accepted the shares, which I deserve, but I don't need feelings. Ethan Liu's face changed. Why? Because I don't love you. I stood up. Done. Ethan Liu, you never knew me. I was just a stand-in, remember? He wanted to say something, but I turned and left the study. The next day, Owen Liu mysteriously pulled me into his room and locked the door. I found something. He turned on his computer and pulled up a series of emails and files. Roxy Lin is secretly in contact with the people of Huaxing. This is the plot of the original work. Roxy Lin teamed up with the Liu family's business rivals to manipulate it, causing an important project of the Liu family to fail. She took the opportunity to force Ethan Liu to divorce me and marry her. How did you get these? I asked in surprise. Owen Liu smiled proudly. I have my method, and the important thing is that they are ready to challenge at next week's board meeting. I pondered for a moment. Why didn't you tell your dad about this? Owen Liu sneered. I suspect he knew about it a long time ago. What do you mean? Look at this. He pulled up an encrypted file. My dad has been secretly transferring assets recently, and I guess he is preparing for the future. In the book, Ethan Liu did detect the conspiracy in advance, but chose to sacrifice Chloe Jiang in exchange for business interests. Unexpectedly, the plot was advanced by a year. What are you going to do? I asked. Owen Liu showed a sophisticated smile that did not match his age. It will be planned. The following week, Owen Liu became extremely busy. Ethan Liu is also often away from home, and occasionally comes back with a frown. Roxy Lin came more often, looking at me with the eyes of a victor every time. I secretly ate melons. The night before the board, Owen Liu had an unconcealable excitement on his face. Are you ready? I asked. He nodded. Tomorrow is a critical day. No matter what happens, Mom, remember that I will always be on your side. I vaguely felt that there was something in his words, but he was already yawning and returning to the room. The next day, Owen Liu sent me a message. Mom, watch the live broadcast. I quickly logged into my social account. The scene of the annual board of directors of the Liu Group. The meeting was not hosted by Ethan Liu, but by Owen Liu. Thank you to all the directors for attending the meeting despite their busy schedules. Owen Liu, like a little adult, stood in front of the rostrum, his voice calm. I have something important to announce. The camera swept to Ethan Liu, his face was ashen. As a significant shareholder of the company, please check MS. Roxy Lin, who is suspected of commercial espionage and fraud. Owen Liu's words made the audience explode. Roxy Lin screamed and was pinned down by the security guard. Owen Liu then played a recording. It was Roxy Lin who conspired with his rivals to disrupt Liu's plan. Ethan Liu's expression changed from shock to relief. When did you acquire so many shares? He asked in a deep voice. Owen Liu smiled. Use the pocket money my mother gave me as the principal. Owen Liu continued to tell everyone, all evidence has been handed over to the police, and I also announced that Liu's will reach a strategic cooperation with the ginger candy dessert chain. My dessert shop? I was confused. In the past few years, I have not been idle, opened a chain store, and the business is not bad. Ethan Liu didn't know and only told Owen Liu. In the evening, Owen Liu returned home, followed by Ethan Liu with a complicated face. Good son, explain? I put my hands on my hips. Owen Liu grinned and turned back into the spoiled teenager. Happy birthday, Mom. This is my gift to you. He said softly. My nose was sore. Stinky boy, you didn't tell me in advance about such a big thing. I want to surprise you. Owen Liu hugged me. Ethan Liu stood aside, looking lonely. He was about to go upstairs when I said, Ethan Liu, get a divorce. Mom, you're finally going to dump my dad. Great. Before Ethan Liu could react, Owen Liu jumped up happily. He looked at the man who had ignored him for so many years. Dad, you don't deserve to be a husband and father. I decided to follow my mother. Ethan Liu's whole body froze. I can't figure out why my wife and son don't want him anymore. After a long silence, he closed his eyes and looked at me. I understand. I'll set you free. A month later, the divorce procedures were completed. I moved into the large flat floor that I bought before. With the assistance of Hao Der, my dessert shop opened abroad after it spread across the country. Mom, try this, the newly developed formula. Owen Liu handed me a piece of cake. I took a bite and narrowed my eyes with happiness. It's delicious. Don't you have an M&A meeting today? How can you have time to make cake? No matter how busy you are, you have to make dessert for your mother. Owen Liu is 20 years old, and he has become a feared business tycoon in the mall at a young age. But when I get home, I still like to stick to me and act coquettishly. I didn't expect that I really raised this child into a spoiled mother. He suddenly remembered something. By the way, Uncle Hua asked you to dinner tomorrow? I looked up in surprise. How do you know? Owen Liu analyzed seriously. His company's financial situation is good, his relationship history is clean, and he is in good health. Stop. I grabbed the pillow and smashed him. You investigate my date? Owen Liu dodged flexibly. Of course, if you want to chase my mother, pass me first. Stinky boy, your mother and my feelings don't need you to worry about it. I chased him all over the house, and laughter filled the room.